Hello, folks. This is your host, Tammy Turner, and you are now listening to the Tiara Talk Show. We bring you rare interviews with the makers of Disney magic. Whether they be singers, actors, Imagineers, animators, they've all made their mark on the Disney name. To find out more about the show and other episodes, head to our official website at www.thetiaratalkshow.com. Be sure to look below at the show notes in the Show More section for links to our Twitter and Facebook pages, including videos and websites mentioned in the following interview. Photos and audio clips that are featured in the show belong to their rightful owners and are used for educational purposes only. All guest opinions are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the opinions of the Tiara Talk Show or the host. The Tiara Talk Show is not associated with the Disney Company. Thanks again for tuning in to this week's episode, and from all of us here at the Tiara Talk Show, have a hoop-de-doo day. I'm excited to welcome this week's Tiara Talk Show guest, character performer Bob Jackson, to the show. Welcome, Bob.
Yeehaw! Thank you, Tammy Turner. Tiara Talk Show, we love you. Tiara Talk Show, we love you. Tiara Talk Show, it's true. Tiara Talk Show, we love you. Yahoo!
Hi, thank you so much for that. That was a wonderful introduction. That's probably the best guest introduction we've ever had, and guest, adding their 2 cents in there.
Thank you, Tammy, and hello to everybody listening tonight, today. Everybody, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
It's 2014, and this marks your 19th year working for the Disney Company. So can you tell us how you got your foot through Disney's entertainment door?
I moved to Orlando about 1991 to perform at a big showroom downtown Orlando. It was called Rosie O'Grady's. It was a Dixieland review. And one of the boys, several of the boys in the band, worked out at Disney. And they got me involved at Disney. I auditioned. My first job was playing there at the Diamond Horseshoe, and in the old Diamond Horseshoe show, when they had male dancers, female dancers, a violin. We had a 4-piece band, and that was my first job at Disney, was playing in that.
So how early have you been playing the piano?
I've been playing the piano for hundreds of years. I've been playing the piano since I was a little guy. It's all I've ever done for a living. Lived abroad, worked on ships, spent a great deal of time working in Finland, Sweden, Norway, Switzerland. We had a band. My wife was a singer. We traveled mostly through the upper Midwestern part of the United States. It's all I've done for a long time is play the piano. It's my passion. It's what I love to do.
So when you first started out playing the piano, were you a big entertainer early on?
I've always enjoyed entertaining, interacting with people. It was always fun playing with other musicians, but the entertainers were always somebody that I was interested in. Jimmy Durante, Fats Waller was a great entertainer. These people that could not only play and sing, but could really interact well with an audience. They were my heroes.
But now you also perform outside House of Blues at Downtown Disney. Does that music selection change a lot? So when guests come in, they can come see you anytime, and there's always different songs that you'll be performing?
Yep, I'm playing different, I have a different repertoire for the House of Blues, and I'm playing down at Splitsville. I never know when I'm going to be down there. You have to watch my schedule on my web page, because it's never the same days during the month, but it's at least once a month at both Splitsville and at House of Blues, and it's fun to play different kind of music and with different musicians. So I love that. But my main passion is there at Port Orleans entertaining. That's what I just love to do.
You're good friends with Yehaa Bob, who performs at Disney's Port Orleans Riverside Resort. So how did you come up with this crazy character and set up for the show?
I've always had a stage character whenever I've performed. They had different names, but they've always been this kind of wacky fellow that is just, I climb into character before I walk on stage, and there's a plaque backstage with a bunch of different quotes from Walt Disney. And every night I tap this thing with my fist. It says, give the people everything you can give them. Make it a real fun place to be. And I tap that thing with my fist every night before I walk through the door, and I'm in character, and those are the words that are ringing in my ears as I walk towards the stage. And I just get up there and give everybody what I got, and I leave it all on that stage.
We had a Tiara Talk Show meetup to see Yehaa Bob, and we all had a lot of fun. We were just having as much fun as Yehaa Bob was having up on the stage, too. So, because you get the audience involved, too. There's a lot of audience participation.
Absolutely. It's all part of it.
Yeah, and it makes a great experience, and that's why everybody keeps coming back to see you.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I hope they keep coming back.
I actually had a couple of questions for you, Yehaa Bob. So you have great audiences. They love you. But what is the craziest thing that you've ever seen someone in the audience do during your show?
Oh, there's been all kinds of craziness. Wave their arms around. One night, somebody climbed up on the chair and knocked one of those chandeliers down. Glass. I've had men get on their knees and propose to their girlfriends on stage. I have lines around. And one night, the lady that was leading the conga line let them outside the hotel. They never came back for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And the whole audience just disappeared. She might have taken them down by the swimming pool down by the resort. I don't know. They were gone for a long time. I get a part in the show where I have men run around the room like they're riding a horse, and he ran all the way back. I play an upright piano. He came back to the stage. He climbed up he's standing on top of the upright piano, and this thing is wiggling back and forth. He's about to fall. It's, oh my gosh, you're going to have to get down. That was a crazy night. Actually,
that was one of my next questions. Your piano rocks back and forth. Does that make it more difficult or more fun to play?
Well, I've been doing it for so long, I don't even think about it anymore. It's an old trick. People have been rocking their pianos for 100 years. It's a visual thing. And all these old saloon piano players, they would rock their pianos. And it's just an old trick, and I've been doing it for years. I don't even think about it anymore.
Do you have a favorite song from your set at Port Orleans?
Anything that I can get that audience to sing along with is one of my favorite songs. I suppose one of my favorite songs to actually perform is Rhapsody in Blue. I start my second set with George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, and that's a challenge to play, and I always enjoy playing that. But for the most part, I love getting that audience to getting the energy to come back at me. That's what's the most fun, is hearing that audience sing along.
I remember we had a bunch of fun singing Sarah, Sarah, sitting in a brick shipyard.
That's an old song, probably from the 1920s.
It's a lot of fun. That song was just, everybody's laughing because we're all having a good time and we're all singing it together. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the sets. Now, I love your clothing style, so where did you get your outfit from?
Well, I've always been a big fan of the 1920s and 30s, and when I was a young man, I had a pencil thin mustache, and I wore hand-painted neckties and these big, baggy, double-pleated breeches, and I would wear them on stage, these hand-painted neckties and these baggy pants, and I started wearing them there at Port Orleans, and Disney liked them, and they took them and made patterns for them, and now Disney makes them for me.
Do you ever find it difficult doing the same sets over and over again, or do you like to switch out songs?
Well, I've just rewritten probably 3/4 of my show, and so I'm still trying to memorize the lyrics. And as far as the repetition part goes, I don't even notice it. The piano in my show actually is more of a prop, and it's getting the audience to react to the songs. And every night they react differently. Sometimes they're a bunch of kids. Sometimes there's a bunch of adults. Some nights you never know what you're going to get in that room. And so that's what makes it interesting, because every night's different.
How many celebrities have come to see you on stage portraying Yehaa Bob?
Shoot, I don't even know. Some of them are out there hiding, I've got a lot of the Pixar people, they like to come, and I've had, I can't even remember their names, this man that runs Euro Disney, he was here. I've had a lot of the Imagineering crew from California. You just never know. All I can do is get up there and do my best.
Now I have 3 fun questions I always ask my guests. I call them the Fab 3 questions, and they're the Donald, Goofy, and Mickey questions. So we'll start out with the Donald one. So as a child, what Disney film would you always like to watch over and over and over again?
Well, I can't really think which Disney movie I would watch over and over again. I suppose it would be, what's the one with Let's Go Fly a Kite?
Oh, I love it. And you perform it in your sets, too, which
Yeah.
I'm so glad you do. I love Mary Poppins. So.
Yeah, I love Mary Poppins. That's a funny one, the laughing song where they get this guy to laugh. And he's stuck on the ceiling. I always thought that was a pretty good one. I like that one.
That always makes me laugh. And our Goofy question, what Disney character do you think would be your best friend if you met them in person?
That's a good one. I suppose Jiminy Cricket. I think he's a good guy. He could help me.
And finally, our last question, the Mickey question. If I asked you to name any Disney song at this very moment, what immediately comes to mind?
Well, the one that everybody loves to sing is Let It Go from Pixar's Frozen. I suppose that would be the one that gets up about. I do that one in my first show, and I do it as a sing-along, and all I have to do is just start the piano part, and the room just sings it from the beginning to the end.
Well, thank you so much, Bob, for coming on the show. Listeners, if you want to find out more about Bob, you can head to his website at www.yehabob.com. So thank you so much for coming on the show. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you, Tammy Turner. Tiara Talk Show, we love you. Tiara Talk Show, we love you. Tiara Talk Show, it's true. Tiara Talk Show, we love you. Yay!
Yeehaw!
What's she doing? All day. Sarah, sitting in a brick shipyard. Sarah, sitting on the shed house door.